Okay, I think in the interest of time, we will move on to the second question. And I want to start off by saying that the inability of Malaysians to buy a house today, is pricing the main problem? Is home affordability a supply issue, or is our mortgage system too rigid to support the target group? There are always two sides to a coin, they say. The supply is not forthcoming, both in terms of quantity and speed. And at the same time, a lot of prospective buyers complain of difficulties in getting end financing. How do we tackle this? Flood the market with new supply? Or do we tackle the demand side and come up with more innovative and flexible financing options to house buyers? So the question to the panelists is, the housing affordability conundrum, is more supply the long-term solution, or is easier access to house buyers financing a better solution? So to the panelists, you have to answer: 1, more new supply, or 2, buyers easier access to financing. Dato,
I think easier financing should be made available to eligible buyers. That's my personal view. You see, especially for first-time house buyers, the category would be what Dr. Ye said just now, between 25 to 30. They find it very difficult to come out with the 10%. And even if they can come out with 10%, some banks give even lower margin of financing. It's going to be even more difficult for them to come out. So in this sense, we are talking for affordable homes, 500,000 ringgit and below in this category. I think easier financing should be given. They should be also, for first-time house buyers, below the threshold of 500,000, lower interest rates should be given. Even first-time house grants. The federal government have started this in 2013 or 2014 budget called My Home. However, I would like to see this to be increased for first-time house buyers. They give out up to 30,000. So these are the things that I think easier financing should be given. In other countries, I think in Australia, they even have a 2-generation loan, where the parents, they pick up the first 10 or 20%, and the monthly installments are paid by the children.
Thank you very much, Sri.
I think pricing of housing is a very simple formula: cost plus profit. So if you are able to control the cost or reduce the cost, then you can reach affordability. Of course, most buyers will require a mortgage, and at the moment, mortgage loans are difficult to come by because of the bank negara guidelines, and therefore the guidelines was put in because of the supposedly speculation, but today's speculation is dead. So I think it's time also to review the bank negara guidelines, because you can build houses. Developer will know how to be agile enough to build the products that people can afford. But at the end, if you don't get any mortgage, there's no saving.
Okay, so I take it that you are in favor of number 2, which is more new supply. Okay, thank you. Okay.
It's actually a difficult question to answer. It's a mixture of both. But to me, it's like if you look at the Prima model today, they have been launching houses, and those who are eligible to buy, because there's a category of people with salary below 10,000 and all this, you are eligible to buy. But they now found out that the major problem is access to financing. That's why the government came up with this EPF sort of ring fencing and come up with a step-up financing. If financing is not an issue, then why must the government come up with this step-up financing? So financing is an issue. But then in terms of supply, developers are smart enough. They will produce what the market wants. And if that's a major segment of what the market is looking for, they will actually produce enough for the market. And we must also be careful that we don't all produce for a certain sector of the market. Later on, you get oversupply for that sector as well. And this is a major problem. So access to financing is important to me.
So it's
to me, currently it's access to financing, because if you look at the Prima model, that's the problem that that sector is facing now.
Thank you very much, Soam.
Think about house prices. It depends if you're a buyer or a seller. people tend to own houses and they like house prices going up. Younger people who are trying to buy their first house like house prices going down. So I'm a young person, so therefore I like house prices going down. Obviously, basic economics says you increase supply, that would tend to bring house prices down, but clearly, which is in the influence of the buyer, the young person. I would prefer that as a solution to more financing, because you still have to pay back the loan you take, and the more expensive the house is, the more you have to borrow, and the more you have to pay back. So
more supply.
More supply.
Thank you. Dato.
Yeah, I agree that in the long term, more supply is necessary, but at the right price level. That means the 300,000 and below. So actually, the challenge is actually for developers to find a solution that they can build at lower cost, but adequate margin that's equivalent to developing the high-end segment. That would be the innovation challenge for the developers. More supply.
Mr. Fu.
I would go for more supply. I think that is a better solution in the long term. Perhaps I tend to agree with those three parties Kanda mentioned about easy financing, but I would rather use the word responsible financing. I think that probably would be the right thing for the Bank Negara to do. Of course, I think there's a lot of challenges now. Perhaps we have to relook into how to kickstart more for the whole first-time home buyer. I think developers are sensible people. They are looking in more on research, what is marketable, what is need as market getting tougher at the moment. So I'll go for more supply.
Thank you. Moving on. High land prices, increasing cost of construction with respect to labor and building materials, infrastructure and compliance costs have all contributed to the increased house prices. The supply and demand mechanism has also pushed prices to the present level. The question to the panelists is, do you believe that house prices in Malaysia can be reduced, or can we only slow down the rate of house prices increase at best? If I may ask Dato Sri Fatih.
I think with everything that you just mentioned just now, it's highly improbable for the prices to go down. It's just you can slow it down. I think a holistic approach must be taken by all stakeholders. Federal government recently in February increased the levy for steel from 1,700 ringgit we were so used to be paying, now we're paying about 2,600. That's on one example. State government is imposing higher conversion premium, higher development charges. Local councils are charging on every plan we put in. So these are costs that you can't run away. What we paid 6% of future value of the land, let's say 5 years ago on conversion premium charges, some states have gone up to about 24-25%. And then you look at the compliance cost, which is usually done by the water and electricity company. It used to be that they will pull all the resources to our development, and within our development, we will do everything. They will recover from the new tariffs with the new consumers from our buyers. But today, no. We pull everything. Right? We pull the water, we pull electricity, we have to build a substation, we have to build the reservoir, we have to build a sewage treatment plant, and so forth. So everything is going up. You mentioned labor just now. Construction costs have gone up. I don't think property prices can go down, but you can try to slow it down.
Thank you.
I'll agree also that the best we can do is to slow it down. But there is an opportunity for one-time reduction of costs if we review all the compliance costs which has been enumerated by Dato Iskandar. And on top of that, not only do we pull all the infrastructure at our cost, the other thing is we still got to pay capital contribution. And I cannot understand why capital contribution to the TNB or Gas Malaysia has to be a percentage of the selling price of the house. What has the cost of getting the utility to your doorstep, or to do the cost or to the value of the house yourself. So I think there's a one chance of reducing, review all the compliance costs to more realistic level. It was all put up because we were in good time, so they keep loading on us, lending fees, whatever it is. And I think the best we can hope for is a slowing down of price hikes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dato. Answer is still the same, slow down at best. Reason is because the property market has been facing a tough period during the last 2 years. If developers can sell at a very high price, they would actually do so. But now if you look around the market, I think everyone is trying to make ends meet using the word mix. Luckily, hopefully there's no bankers around here. Otherwise they wouldn't lend to the property developer anymore. The other is actually, the reasons were given by the other two gentlemen just now. One element, very big element on property prices at this current moment is actually cross-subsidy. You must understand that we all have to do 30% low cost, we have to do 50% rumah Selangorku in KL, we have to do rumah VIP in Wilayah, rumah mampu milik Johor, and all these other scheme that we have. And then we have the Bumi Putra discount quota cross-subsidy as well. So all these actually increase the cost of the other property, the other normal property that there is. So how can the prices be brought down further, apart from all those compliance costs and land costs and the input costs that's mentioned by the two other panelists just now? So my view is, at best, it can only be slowed down. And for us in the industry is currently we are more looking at cash flow rather than profit and loss.
Can I move to Dato? Well, I certainly hope house prices don't come down, because generally for the economy as a whole, it's not very good if house prices collapse. We saw that happen in the US in 07, 08, 09. I hope that doesn't happen here. So yes, I do hope that we can slow down the rate of house price increases. But again, it also depends at which level. I mean, at the very high level, when millionaires are selling to other millionaires, good luck to them. It's not important. What's important is what for the normal person, can you afford to buy a house?
I think that you are in support of slow down on the rate. Okay, thank you, Dr.
I think based on the current normal economic situation, you see that you already slow down the rate of house price increase. But more importantly, I think Malaysia we have a kind of a segmented market. Perhaps one more affordable aid, and will be more driven by stronger market intervention by the government. That means keeping prices low through different means of providing some kind of subsidies. But the other end, the other segments, particularly the medium to high end segments, I think it should be completely left to free market forces. And if there's slow down in the economy, prices will also soften. And this will be affected by purely by market forces.
So I take it that also on the slow down. Mr. Fu?
Perhaps I think these are the only question all the panelists probably concur. Definitely, I will go along that there's no way the price is going to come down, from my view. What we have experienced for the last 4 years, actually, the appreciation rate has moderated at more reasonable level, between 8 to 9%. So we do not have a strong growth. Last 5 years, 12, 18%. I think this is something beyond not sustainable. It's good to see that, but perhaps I'm just looking into the other angle, where in terms of the price probably can come down. I think the flavor of the market we're talking about affordable home. These are the areas perhaps I think government, I will urge probably the Chamber of Commerce to look into this strongly, to have separate market strictly where our neighbor country and Singapore, Hong Kong has successfully adopting this policy, where there is a different segment of the market. When there is a need, then there is a supply via government. I think these are the areas where perhaps can help people, rakyat, to have a home ownership at affordable level.